Okay, writers, section 18, we are working on revising, making some changes to our story. So when you're writing, you might ask yourself, how can I give people clues as to how I want them to read this part? Are there ways that you can show your reader how you want them to read your writing? So that's what we're going to focus on, the goal being that writers show their readers how to read a piece or a part of your story by varying the pace of your writing, by changing the pace. And you can do this by altering or changing a moment in your story, by making it pass quickly or slowly. Because you can't next to the reader as they're reading it. You need to use specific strategies. Let me show you what I mean. So let's first talk about how we can slow down a moment. So this is a sentence from a Cinderella adaptation. Let's look at the example sentence. Cinderella watched sadly as the invitation disappeared into the flames. Okay. I want you to imagine you've got a remote control aiming right at this moment when Cinderella is watching the invitation burn. You know how you can use a remote to slow things down when you're watching TV or a movie? And when you do, you can see all of those smaller details that you might have missed. So I want you to slow down this moment and picture this with me. Everything is happening slowly. I see the invitation being tossed into the fire. I can picture the flames taking some time to burn the invitation. I see Cinderella as a tear slides down her cheek as the invitation burns. So now, my modified sentence might look like this. Cinderella watched sadly as the invitation landed in the fire. The edges started to burn first. A tear slid down Cinderella's cheek. The flames grew bigger and bigger as more of the invitation caught fire. Cinderella buried her face in her hands. Soon, the invitation was a pile of ashes. Okay. So, when you slow down a moment, you might have noticed that there are a lot more words and a lot more details than what we used in our original. When writers slow down a moment, they pack in more details, and that tells readers to slow down as they read, to spend more time in that one moment. Let's try picking up the pace and talk about how we can speed up a moment. So instead of slow motion, we're going to speed it up. The way it's written for my first sentence, my example, Cinderella takes some time to notice the library as she walks into it. What if you wanted to speed up this moment so that readers got to the next part of the story? What would you do? So let's look at that first example sentence. Cinderella entered the library. It was big and beautiful, and so empty, echoed. Where are all the books? Cinderella wondered aloud. So if we want to speed up the moment, you might think about using a shorter amount of words. Let's look at the modified sentence. Cinderella rushed into the empty library and wondered where all the books were. She's not really taking in all the details of the setting. We're just getting straight to the point, a small, short scene in our story. So, there's no right or wrong way here. You need to decide for yourself if you want your reader to read really slowly or really quickly through a moment. So that's where the revising comes on in. So I want you to pick a moment in your story that you find to be very important. Think about if you want the reader to read it slowly or quickly, and then use the stress in the mentioned video right here, and put your moment in the box so that the reader knows how you want them to read it. Happy writing!